Yo, what is good, my fellow Magic Knights? It is your boy DEADMANVINCE back with yet another Black Clover mobile video. Hope everybody has been doing well. Hope everybody has been enjoying the live streams. This video is more so for the global side of the game. It still applies to the Japanese side, but I've already done a video like this for the Japanese side of the game, so just refreshing us. And honestly, the more that the game is out, the more that we get, new information. So it kind of like changes how things work necessarily. But today, I want to tell you what the most important thing you will be farming is, and two, I want to tell you why it is the most important thing. The global version's been out for like 2 weeks now, and I know a lot of people have been having their like opinions about, yo, you should farm this, you should farm this first, you should farm this first. I'm gonna tell you what you actually should be farming first, because it just makes the most sense. And this isn't my global account. I barely play the global version. More so, I don't think I'm really gonna play the global version like super duper hard. I think more so I'm just gonna play it so I can kind of like be tapped in and know what's going on the global side of the game without having to look through a bunch of forums or anything. But if you guys are enjoying these videos, then you can go down below and you can that subscribe button, and you can also hit that like, silent murder crypt, jump that like button, fight back, you know what I'm saying. But we're gonna go ahead and get into it. Today we're going to be talking about why, where, how, when to farm experience. So guys, just know that my views on experience are no different than yours. I just want to like kind of just to give a little credibility here. If it is your first time stumbling upon the channel, if you have not been watching me through the JP journey and you guys are like just now getting here, I do want to go ahead and let you know that I do have every single mage in the game LR level 100, which requires such a tedious amount of experience potions. I literally have experience potions beyond these mages. Like all the little ones you see, I don't have much of those. Those don't matter anymore because I only farm on the like higher level stage. So now I have like a couple of the SSR ones, the UR ones, the LR ones. Like nearly 1,000 of the LR ones is actually a nice like amount, but then like nearly 1,000 of the SSR ones is not that big of an amount. So we're gonna kind of break down, I guess, how the potions give your characters different experience, like how much experience. Like typically to get from like level 80 to level 100 on a mage, you're looking at spending about 800 of these SSR crystals or SSR potions. I think it's about 500 of these right here, and then you're probably looking at like 250 on the LR ones. It's been so long since I've actually paid attention to when I'm leveling a character, because like I always have the materials now. But where are we going to find experience potions? So back on the home screen, if we tap down here on the door right here where we get to all of our activities, you can see right here we can go right into this dungeon right here, and then these are going to be all of your regular challenge dungeons. Now, there's a few things we have here. This is the blue-green forest, which is going to be for experience. This is the dungeon, which is going to be for gear. This is the urban city, yeah, it's just called urban city. This is for gear, substat boosting materials, and also for, let me just show you, and also for actual just like gear upgrade stones as well. You can see I have quite a few of like all of them. I actually had 1,000 plus of the smaller two, but I actually converted a bunch up, so I have 1,000 plus of the bigger one, because those are the most important ones to me. The only thing about this dungeon is that even on the highest difficulty level, you can only get like rare substat boosting materials, which is all right, I guess, because the way that boosting your gear substats, it kind of it goes to a certain level with the rare gear, with the rare booster items. Then you get the SSR booster items, and it goes up an even higher level, and then you get to the full like booster, the LR booster items, and then it'll go up to like a certain number, and there's like a range for each one. But this stage is kind of like whatever. This stage down here, talents is super duper important. We'll have a separate video for that. This is bond over here. This is the corridor of memories, which looks a little different on global because you guys don't get black crystals from this. You actually have a different type of ticket that gives you just runs on this, right? So different. I'd say that is better on the JP version, but still. Then down here you have the Tower of Challenge, and this just gives you a lot of different things, a lot of different random rewards the higher that you go into it. But the dungeon that we're looking for experience potions is going to be this dungeon right here. This is the experience dungeon. So what I say is, for your grinding experience, the best grinding experience for you, you want to, because you're going to start right here. So there's barely any, like, you barely need combat power to even like get right here. Like on the global account, even though I haven't been playing it, one of my characters is almost strong enough, like just a single character by themselves, and they have really shitty gear. One of them is nearly strong enough to be able to go in here and have higher combat power than the entire stage on their own. So when you have a full team of mages, especially when they're SSR, and you can get them leveled up, that's really going to help your combat power. That's going to help you get like deeper down into the levels, and you'll see that when you're going throughout these levels that the jumps aren't too crazy, and then all of a sudden, boom, you go from 75k all the way up to 91k. Because like 65k to 75k is still a crazy jump, but it's like 10,000 like combat power, which isn't that big in the grand scheme of things, as big of a jump as you think. But then, you know, when you get from 75k to 91k, you're looking at a 16k power jump. Then from there, it's normal again. Then it's normal again, and then boom, you jump up to 148. So this is typically where where people are going to get stuck with the experience dungeon, trying to like farm it out. I think my team's combat power is just enough so that I can dispatch this, and that's one of the things that I want to say. Dispatch is a godsend, because dispatch allows you to only have to beat a stage one time, and then if you want to farm that stage over and over and over again, you can just keep running the dispatch. One thing that's cool about JP is once you've already beaten the stage, it doesn't matter what the current combat power of your team is, you will be able to dispatch that stage no matter what, indefinitely. On the global version, even if you do beat a stage one time, if your team's combat power is lower than the recommended combat power, it won't even let you look at this screen right here. When you tap on the dispatch button, it's going to say too low, you can't do this. So get your teams high enough to where you can dispatch the highest gear stage that you can. Now, how do I say you break up the experience potions while you're farming them? You're going to have a core farming team whenever you start the game. So let's look. Let me go to my team builder real quick right here. So we take a look. I'm going to give you guys an idea of what you would have probably for your first like team, right? So you're going to have Lotus here. Lotus is who you should be re-rolling for, hands down. Lotus is still one of the best debuffers in the game to this day. Honestly, probably is like the best debuffer still. One of the best mages in the game to this day. Okay, who else would you get? So just for example, you'll get Asta for free, you'll get Yuno for free, and you'll get Noel for free. If you get absolutely shitted on in your luck, you could start out with these mages. I wouldn't put too much investment into the SRs as much as Lotus. You want to definitely make sure you get Lotus up first, but like you could start with something like this and just work your way through those experience stages until you get that stage where you can't beat it anymore, and then you can dispatch on the stage that you have a higher combat power than, and you can just kind of keep accumulating your potions that way. Now you don't really have to struggle with it as much, because before it was like you had to auto battle it and there's a chance your team loses, and if your team loses then they're going to restart the mission, which is just going to make your auto battle take longer. With dispatch, everything is going to have a set period of time that it takes for you to beat that. Typically, whenever I do 50 dispatches on a super high level stage, it takes like 15 minutes. Or not, wait, 15 minutes. I'm sorry, an hour and a half. Why did I say 15? 15 was coming to mind. I was level 15 that we're doing, but still, an hour and a half, an hour 40 minutes is about the range that you're looking at to get 50 runs out on like the level 15 stages. So do not be scared to abuse that dispatch system. It is here to help you increase your grinding experience, because when you dispatch, so say I dispatch any of these stages right here, any stage that is a experience dungeon, a regular farming dungeon, so the experience dungeon, the gear dungeon, the gear substat material dungeon, the talent dungeon, and the bond missions, all 5 of those things can all be dispatched. So while you're dispatching your experience, just keep in mind that you cannot farm any of these other things, any of these other 5 things. You can still farm your memory crystals, you can still farm your Tower of Illusion and everything. You can go do your limited challenges, you can do PvP, you can do whatever, right? You just can't do other stages that are able to be dispatched. Now, why do I say experience potions are the most important thing for you to farm? Because in this game, there are 2 kind of like, how do I say, limited time events that you can do for Yule. One of them is going to be in here. Oh, so it's not Yule today, but typically this one's Yule, this one's experience potions, and then this one right here is going to be, what is it? It is gear upgrade like stones, enhancement stones. So this is another place where you can come to farm experience. It's just not here today. Yeah, it's not going to show it either. It's just not here today, but it cycles out. I believe it's the first, like, because what day is it now? It is Friday. I believe it's like the first, like, 2 or 3 days of the week. So, like, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, if not Monday, Tuesday, you can farm Yule experience and weapon upgrade materials in this dungeon right here. And then also, it's going to pretty much be like 3 times the stamina as you would usually run on a regular stage, but it'll give you 3 times the drop rewards as well. So definitely make sure you're paying attention to that. Unfortunately, there's not a food that boosts the drop rate of items in general. There's just food to boost the drop rate of like gear, right? But even still, there are plenty of ways to get your hands on experience from actual farming on the main dungeon, doing the story missions, and also just doing like the limited dungeon that comes here. The other way that you can get experience potions is through the shop. The shop right here, I don't seriously consider this like a way to get experience potions, but if I'm talking about getting experience, then I'm going to cover all the bases with it. These, don't buy these unless like your account's farmed up to a point where you're decent enough and like your gear's good enough to like you don't really care as much about your Yule as somebody who's just starting the game should care about their Yule. You can buy these experience potions every day if you want to. I do not recommend. I just don't think that they're going to be that beneficial to you versus just actually straight up farming them. But what I would say is you want to farm up. So say you get super lucky, get super blessed, you get like a whole team of SSRs whenever you start the game. What you want to do is figure out, one, what is your composition going to be for your gear farming team? And let me show you my gear farming team right now. I am not somebody who likes to build everybody damage, and just like Hulk through everything in the game. I like to build sensible defense teams that when I leave and let them auto battle, they may not go as fast, but also there's no way in hell, there's no chance that the team would lose. I have Lotus here to reduce the enemy's speed. I have Noelle here for her shield and for her good damage to help me get to the stage faster. I have Charmy here for her constant non-stop healing. I have Raddy's here also for another shield. I can probably trade out Raddy's. I'm going to be realistic with you. But these are the kind of teams that I set up to do my auto battle runs. The reason why the experience dungeon is also like the most important dungeon that you'll be running is because you get the most Yule from this stage besides special events for Yule. That's what I was saying earlier. You get the Yule from the dungeon in the limited time challenge, and then there's also King Wolf, who shows up like 2 times a day, and you can beat him and get a lump sum of Yule whenever you beat him, right? But any other place that you're looking for Yule, the experience dungeon is going to be the place where you farm the most Yule. So you can see right here, I would get 5,940 Yule just for doing 1 run here. That's a very small amount, but unfortunately, Magic Knights, this is actually the stage that gives you the most Yule. And then also, there's a food right here. Try to cook this food as much as you can. This food boosts the Yule that drops from a stage by 15%. You can use it anywhere that Yule will drop. So you can honestly use it while you're like farming literally any stage where Yule would drop. So do not be scared to get to Charmy and start cooking up these dishes right here. But let's put this on. Let's put on this 15% Yule boost, and then I'm gonna skip ticket 1. So it says 5,940, but with that food, you actually get 12,771. Oh, wow, there's got to be something else. There has to be something else going on right now, because usually it's like 6,000 something. It's usually like half of what I just got, but there's another event going on. Yes, there is an event going on that boosts your money by double. So I probably boosted it by 15%, and then they boosted it by double with their extra little buff there. But the experience dungeon is super, super, super important for 1, leveling your mages, 2, getting your Yule. Because I see a lot of people saying like, oh yeah, start with gear, start with talents, start with this. The thing about talents is talents are a worse grind than the experience potions, because with experience potions you need a set amount. Boom, you drop it into the character, and that's all coming from 1 stage. With talents, you need a set amount of 3 different types of material, and you have to farm through all 3 of those stages to finish 1 character. So it's just a lot more tedious, the process of finishing 1 stage, going to the other stage, setting up your auto battle again, versus experience where you can just set up auto battle just straight up and just leave it running for a very long time. But gear, the reason why I don't say start with gear is because 1, you already have to work on gear at every turn in the damn game. So go ahead and alleviate yourself a little stress. A lot of people, when the JP version started, they were crying day in and day out about how hard it was to get good gear and how bad the drop rates were. So I had kind of formulated a little method where I farmed everything else besides gear, because I knew gear was like I knew gear was a little wonky, the drop rates and everything, and I knew that eventually it would be something that they worked to fix. So I was like, instead of wasting my time trying to even like look at this, I am going to farm up a few pieces that I need here and there just to make sure every mage has LR pieces when I get to that point. But more so, I'm focused on my experience. One, because I need to get every character like level 100, and you're not trying to get every character level 100. Unless you are, then experience is even more of your focus, right? But two, I'm trying to make sure that I have all the Yule that I need to work on every single thing in the game. Now, let me tell you what costs Yule in the game. Everything. Everything costs Yule in the game. You boosting gear, Yule. You boosting your character's level, Yule. You awakening your character to a new rarity, Yule. You boosting the skill page that the character has, Yule. Are you trying to do transcendence on gear, which global players don't even have yet? A lot of Yule. Are you trying to awaken your character and put stars on them? Yule, 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 Yule. Yule is everywhere. Are you trying to cook a dish? Yule. Literally everything that you do requires some form of Yule. So farm the experience dungeon so that you are ahead of the curve and you have all the experience potions that you need for the mages that you're trying to work on right now. Keep farming experience potions because you can have experience potions for the mages that you need in the future, and also you'll have the Yule that you need to work on everything in between. Yule is literally the most important resource in this game. And like I said, I'll make a whole separate video about Yule in its own, like, on its own time, because Yule is so massive, so important. But guys, start with the experience dungeon. Get your main farming team. So say you do get all of those SSRs. Get your main farming team to a point where they're all like level 60 SSR. Once they're at that point, switch over maybe to gear, or actually, no, switch to bond. They made it a little weird. So in the JP version of the game, let me show y'all something. In the JP version of the game, the bond that you do for your characters, each level where you would get, because I know in global it's like you have to get to a certain friendship level to get to this rarity. I think for SRs you have to get to like level 4 or level 2 or something like that to get to SSR. To get to like UR, you have to get to like level 6, I think, and then to get to LR, you need to get to level 10. That reflects the JP version roughly, because you can see right here, throughout the potential system for this character, there are 5 duplicates for Black Asta. So it changed it from having to collect duplicates to now you can just fuse in the duplicates if you want to ahead of time. All you have to do is get the mage up to a certain affinity level. Obviously, you got to still awaken the Clover at first, but they made it a little bit different. But now to get your character's LR, you have to farm a bond. So what I would say is farm experience until all of your main mages are level 60 SSR, then switch over to bond missions, farm that up so that you can get their affinity up, get them all UR, then go back to experience missions, try to get them max level, so level 80, then go back to bond, get them all to LR, then afterwards go back to experience that last time, get them all to level 100, and then afterwards I would say you can start kind of like moving however you want to in the game, because that base team that you're going to work on right there, that's basically going to be the core of your account. You're going to take those 4 mages and you're going to stretch them as far and wide across your account as you can to make sure that you can utilize them at every event and make sure that you are not having to waste resources on another character. It's really nice when you work on your main team. So let me go back to the team builder real quick. Let me show y'all the main team that a lot of people may actually have starting out the game. You should be re-rolling for Lotus. Cool. Asta is not as good of a tank as Soul, or honestly they're probably like equal. Everybody just sucks off Soul. But like if you don't have Mars, you're probably using Soul. If you have Mars, then you're using Mars. Charlotte is given to you for free at the start of the game, so let's go here. All right, cool. Another mage that I recommend summoning for is probably Red Yami. When you look at all of the characters at the start of the game, when you look at blue characters, you can miss the SSR attackers for blue characters because blue is just over flooded with a bunch of like fucking characters. Y'all already have Fauna out now. You can summon for her right now. Also, you have Solid, you have Luck, you have Charmy, you have Soul. There's so many SR options for the blue mages. So that's why I say summon for a Yami. I know that people are tempted by that blue Yami and everybody's going to say that the blue Yami is better than the red Yami just because of a type advantage thing, but that's just not how it works. Kits can be different. Blue Yami's kit is not bad. I've kind of like turned around and have accepted that he's not bad. I still like red Yami better though, just because of what he does. But red Yami is going to be a good farming unit. He's still good to this day. I use him in my account till this day. Charlotte is going to be free. Charlotte and Lotus is going to be a little weird because both of them are debuffers and they do work really well together. Like, all those debuffs make stages a little easier, but eventually you're going to get another DPS because you can pick from the Gate of Destiny on Season 1 for Global, right? You can pick Black Asta, not Black Asta. You can pick Asta, Mimosa, or Yami. So you'll eventually end up with another character depending on whichever banner you summon on. I'd say most people are probably going to have a team comp similar to this. If not this, something more like, where is Soul at? I just saw her. Something more like this. Now, what I was talking about earlier with the main team that you work on is going to be the core of your account. Lotus is a mage that works very well in a lot of different contents. He has a lot of use in PvP, PvE, wherever you want to use him. His speed reduction is going to do a lot for you. It's always going to take you for really far. He also has incapacitate. He also has concentrated attack buff, and he also removes buffs. So very good debuffer. So Lotus, it does not hurt you to work on him. That's why I say go ahead and dump experience potions into him. Soul or Mars, whichever. Soul's pretty good. Mars is fucking devilish as a tank. Literally, Mars was the highest combat power mage in my account for a very long time. Then Black Asta dropped. I took Mars' gear set away from him and gave it to Black Asta. I just feel like Black Asta is insane. Charlotte is going to be good for doing like the green talent stage, the green gear stage, and the green substat material stage. So don't sleep on Charlotte. Plus her marking debuff really start to get really crazy when you start to get like 4 extra fucking turns in your like turn and the enemies just aren't attacking anymore. Yami has AoE bleeds, has a stun on his skill 2 if the enemy's bleeding, has a high damage single target ultimate. His combo skill also gives him another AoE. He has a combo skill with Jack, which Jack's whatever, but like they have another extra AoE onto that as well. So Yami's going to be very good. Just like in general, Yami's just a really good farmer. So your team is probably going to be looking like this at the worst, I'd say. And if it's not this at the worst, then maybe you don't have Yami and like you throw in SR Yuno. I'm not gonna lie to you, on my main JP account I did not use Yuno at all at the beginning of the game because I had like all the mages already. But on my global account I did use Yuno like very early on. He got pretty far for me until I got my Yami, and then I just replaced him. But this is probably what your first team is going to be looking like. Something like this. You're going to have Charlotte. You're going to have Lotus because those are the 2 SSRs they give you for free unless you're spending money. If you're free to play, this more so applies to you. You'll probably have Soul just in case you didn't get Mars. And then you'll also have some sort of attacker mage because you're going to soon find out that going into missions without an attacker is going to just take up too much of your time, and you're going to want to put an attacking mage on your team somewhere. This is probably how it's going to be looking for you. And you can see right here, there's a good little mix of colors on this team. And you're gonna want, starting out as a free-to-play player, you're gonna want a lot of mono teams to do like a lot of the harder monocolor stages, just because that's kind of like the easiest for you. It gives you the most insurance, right? It's like, say you're doing a mission where you have to fight a bunch of red enemies, like the red gear stage, which is one of the most important stages in the game to farm. Okay, cool. You have one solid ass, like one very solid blue character worked on. You have one very solid blue character worked on right here as well in Soul. Then you can put on SR Charmy, you can put on SR Luck or Solid. That's your team right there for the red gear stage. You can just like boost that team up more and more, right? But you see, I'm talking about the gear stage now. You see how this all came from farming up the experience and getting them to the max level, because getting them to max level, getting them to LR to level 100, that's just free stats you're leaving on the table if you don't have them LR level 100, and that's the freest stats you're going to get out of your mage. But that's really all I have to say about farming experience. Like, farm that first. I know it sounds crazy, but you guys will appreciate it when you farm for that first, especially considering that you can do dispatch on it now too, because I farmed experience for every mage in the account, right? And you get to a point where it gets super tiresome. But if you're not farming experience for every mage in the account, I'm just trying to tell you guys, not even looking down on anybody, but more so hey guys, if I farmed the experience potion for 72 characters and they're all maxed out, and I even have experience potions for the next probably 3 or 4 characters, maybe even 5, I'd say, then you can definitely get a hold on this experience. You just got to jump on these things very early on, and since the game is early and it's new, it's still fresh, right? The global version, you're going to want to go ahead and take advantage of these stages now while there's not a bunch of content in the game that you're trying to scramble and do. But If you guys did enjoy this video, then you can go down below, you can smack that subscribe button, you can also smack the like button for me, you can also comment down below my video. Guys, I was at 300 something subscribers like just last week. Now I'm at 405 and we're looking to shoot even further on beyond that. So I do appreciate your guys' continued support, and I also just want to continue to ask for your support while we continue to keep pushing further and further and getting my account onto the next level and getting my YouTube onto the next level. I really do love you guys, and I do appreciate everything that you guys do for me, but it's time that I start giving back to you guys, and what that means I won't disclose right now, but we got some fun stuff coming up in the future here, guys. It's a new year, so I'm going to try to kick it into overdrive this time. I'm going to try to activate my mana zone and really get to surpassing my limits. But guys, that is it for your boy DEADMANVINCE. I will have another guide video tomorrow. I'm not going to say on what because I have multiple thumbnails charged up already and I'm not 100% certain, but that's going to be it for the video. I hope you guys did enjoy, and I hope this was helpful to you guys. Peace.